Hey everybody, welcome to week 4. We have only 9 or 8 days left in the course. I've lost count. Not much longer in the course, but we are having such a good time with you guys. Thanks for joining in. We do have a new back channel link. You guys probably have noticed that, and I'll explain in just a little bit. But just in case this is your first broadcast, I want my team leads to introduce themselves, and then I'll kind of go through the logistics of how one of these broadcasts works. So I'll start with one of my team leads, Dawn from Connectors. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Hart from the Connectors. I am finishing up my first year as a new instructional designer at Dallas Baptist University. Before that, I taught for 16 years in the elementary school, 13 of that as a third grade teacher.
And you're about to graduate in August, right?
Yeah, I will graduate in actually December.
Oh, that's right, December.
Yes, I just started my second class for the summer, and I'll have one class in the fall. Then I'll be done.
Yay. Very close. And next we have Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria from Team Collaborator, and I'm a retired educator. Retired in 2010 after teaching for 29 years. I spent most of that time in the elementary classroom, and now I perform for children at daycares and libraries and preschools doing music shows, and I sing songs of yesteryear to seniors and rehabs and nursing homes, and I will graduate in August with my Master's in Instructional Design and Technology. So I'm excited.
Very proud of both of you guys. Both of these are just my phenomenal graduate students. I love to include graduate students in as team leads at the end. It's such a good capstone experience for them. And so proud of you both, and glad to have you. And next up we have Dr. Mishnick.
Hi, I am Team Innovators, and I graduated in December from Tarleton with my doctorate. And then I did the instructional design and technology as my cognate area. I currently work at Region 12. I manage a after school and summer school grant, but prior to that, I was at Tarleton as a doctoral fellow and then also a junior high and high school teacher.
And this is her second stint as a team lead. She volunteered her time this summer to help out with the course, and I so appreciate that and appreciate you. She's a wealth of knowledge too. So the innovators are lucky to have her. Well, so before we went live, we had a kind of a pre-brainstorming session, and I have 50 million tabs open to show you guys. Honestly, there's a lot to show. There were not as many questions that came in last week from the completion form, and so we can kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of these topics. But I want to show you really quickly the back channel. If I can get it to come up here. Hang on just a second. Sorry. Where is that? That is just an endless loop of Hangout window. That's not good. Hang on, let me pull my browser windows over to the other side. That's what's cool. Hang with me really quickly. Okay, there we go. All right. So if I share my screen, there we go. And I find the back channel. Can all of you guys see the back channel, team leads? And then if you'll let me know in the actual back channel chat that you can see it. And I'll just wait just a second to make sure that you can see my screen. Cool. Thank you, Clay. So you'll notice this is a new platform for back channel. So I literally right before it was about time to go live and I was embedding everything into the Blackboard course, I went to today's meet and it said, sorry, we've shut today's meet down, like permanently. And the owner or the manager of it basically just decided it was too much of his time. It's a free tool. He had a whole blog post about it. I shed a few tears, but then I moved straight on to, okay, what tool are we going to use? And I found this one. And it actually creates these neat little avatars for you guys. I think that's pretty neat. So I'm going to explore it a little bit more. I think it's going to work for us. I like the ability to like other people's posts. I think that's pretty neat. But this back channel is where you can chime in on what we're talking about, ask questions, and every now and then I'll go and kind of make sure there's no, burning questions or conversations going on that we need to address. But so this is the back channel, and just wanted to make sure I showed you guys that. So let me dive into some of the questions from last week. Two that came in that we kind of they're similar and we were talking about before we went live are from Kayla Tomlinson from Knowledge Seekers and Molly Stewart from Connectors. And it's almost like they knew what module was coming up next. And so they must have known that week 4 was all about this. So here are the questions. So Kayla says, what are some strategies to use when teaching students how to curate information and tools on the internet? And then Molly asked, in order to practice both practice and teach good digital citizenship habits, what resources can we use to guide our students towards understanding how to distinguish between relevant sources and well-packaged and polished opinion-based imitators in such a vast digital world where everything seems to be believable and passable as fact? Wow, she's so on point there. That is such a good question. And so if you had a chance to look into week 4, into the module for week 4, you'll see it's exactly about these topics. How can we help students access information in the sea of information that's out there? How can we help them pull that amount down to something that's manageable? And then how can we help them assess that information for relevancy, for credibility, for validity, for all of those pieces? And so I want to encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to look at that soft chalk, to go in and read that section. So it's titled Accessing and then Assessing Information. And there's lots of tips and tricks in there. Maria, you were saying one of your participants has already kind of leapt for joy over.
He did, yeah. The Google Safe Search option. So to make sure that kids are accessing information that's safe and in an environment that is trustworthy and reliable. So she was so excited about that because she didn't know that was available.
Yeah, all the advanced settings that you can go in and adjust for your students that make it a safer place for them. Even so far as you can control and create your own search engine for students only with the resources that you'd like them to see. So there's so many levels of control. You don't have to just turn Google over to them. But not only are there tools to help you, there are strategies to help them. And so that's what week 4 is all about. So I appreciate the preview, Kayla and Molly, to week 4. I think I actually was going to show that too, just really quickly. So this is the section of the module that I was telling you guys about. And so you'll see it's about accessing information, talks about the sea of information that's out there. And then we have a whole section just on searches, on filtering those search results, like Maria mentioned, setting up those advanced settings to put some parameters around the searches. This little tip, quite a few people said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have been using that. But just using something as simple on your keyboard as Control-F to find the number of words that you're looking for is a neat tip. And then the all-important point that Molly made about assessing that information and why that's important. And so I really want to encourage you to spend some time on this section of the module, and then also the amazing resources that your fellow participants have been tweeting related to this. I would say go to Twitter and just see what they're sharing, because it's so much more than what I've been able to write here in the soft chalk. So great question. Okay, so let's move on to some questions about the very broadcast that you're watching. So I had a few questions about where are these housed after they're live, and there's a folder on the homepage called Archived Broadcast that houses all of the past broadcasts. So you can always go back and watch those. But Tara Garrick also wanted to know, is she going to be able to access these after the course is over? And the answer is yes. And I'm going to actually show that. Maybe I should just stay on screen share. Okay, so let's go to, where's my Blackboard? Can you guys see Blackboard?
Yes.
So here's where they're housed, here in the archive broadcast folder. But I want to talk a little bit about how it works. So basically, whenever I go to do a live broadcast, I start at YouTube. And I'm not going to bring it up because it'll bring up another loop. But from YouTube and Creator Studio, I can go ahead and launch a live broadcast, which opens up Hangouts. And from there, I can invite my team leads in. We can have our pre-broadcast meeting. And then when it's time to go, oh, and so the other thing too is it gives me embed code within the Hangout window. And so that embed code is, let's go back up here. I'll just show you guys the nuts and bolts of it in Blackboard. So you see this countdown timer here and the actual video. So, and within, when I edit those items, you see just the placeholders for those videos. But if you look here in the code, this little HTML section, I have some code here for the countdown timer clock, this bit of code right here. And then this bit of code is the YouTube embed code. And so let me show you, so basically within the learning management system, within a SoftChalk, pretty much anywhere where you can create something on the web, you can embed items from elsewhere on the web. That's what embed code means. You're embedding an item, sometimes they're called widgets, you're embedding them from other places on the internet. And so I'll show you where I grab that code here on YouTube. So here's a YouTube video. Let's say I want to add that embed code. So I clicked on share. I'll show you where that is. It's this little button right here, share. And then you'll see I can click on embed. There's also lots of other places and ways to share and just to copy the actual direct link. But to get the video to show in my SoftChalk or in Blackboard as an embedded video, I click on this embed code. And then this is the actual code that I copy. I'll just highlight it and copy. Now there are some settings, so I could tell it that I want to turn off some of these things, suggested video when it ends. I usually do actually turn that one off. So that alters this code a little bit, and I grab the code, I copy it, and then I can go back into Blackboard where I just showed you guys and add that bit of code in. And that then adds it to Blackboard, or if I'm doing it in SoftChalk, it adds it to SoftChalk. So that's sort of the way embed code works. So you can do that with YouTube videos. You can do that, so you know some of the polls that I add in our course. This is probably from a different course of mine, but if you look hard enough on stuff, you can find how to embed it, if it's interactive or if it's a video. And so the way to do that, let me delete these results, confirm. Okay, so collect votes. And then this first thing that comes up is the JavaScript embed code right here. And so I can copy that code. There are some tricks if you want to kind of get a little bit geeky and learn some HTML. You can adjust the size of the video. You can adjust some different things. I'm just geeky enough to be dangerous, though. But so that's how I embed those polls that you see that you participate in the SoftChalks. And let's see, I thought I was going to show one more thing. Yeah, so the other thing I was going to show, and this is related to Siobhan Pearson from your team, Nicole. She wanted to know, how do I embed the Twitter widget in Blackboard? I could also embed that Twitter widget into SoftChalk or another platform. But the way that you do that, and this is just the quick way, is to click on your profile and click on Settings and Privacy. And then over here on the left, scroll down to Widgets. And you'll see I've created a lot of widgets for my courses. But you create a new widget, and you can, if you want to just like, there's one section of the course where I just do tweets from my profile. So I would do a profile if I wanted to do that. Or I could do a list if I wanted to do like a hashtag. And so it'll walk you through this. So it says, what do you want to embed? And I want to tell it, I would like to embed a hashtag, so like Tarleton Ink. And it says that's all we need unless you'd like to set customization options. So I can set what that look like. I can set the account numbers. I can set the handles and the hashtags. But it basically walks it through, and you'll see, like, if you want it to be a different color, it walks you through that. And so then let me just go back and show you. So then you'll get this kind of widget title, and you can view it. You can preview it. So this is what ours looks like. And then look here. Here is your handy embed code. And so you just copy this code and put it into Blackboard or put it into TalkTalk. So that's a lot, I know, but I did get several questions about it, and I have before too, about how are you connecting all of these things, and it's through the power of embed code. So I hope that answers your question, Shawan, and also Terry from your team, Maria, who asked about watching these after it's over. Related to watching my YouTube videos after the course is over, I wanted to show off, and sorry, this is why I have, what I was telling you, I have 50 million tabs open, but I wanted to show off the resource cheat sheet, which I tweeted out last week on Wednesday, if you want to try to find it on Twitter, and I added it to the week 5, yes, I added it to the week 5 module. So there's a link, and if you can't find it later on and you think about it, just email me and I'll send you the link. But this is the spreadsheet that you can click through the tabs here at the bottom, and it has a list of all of the tools we've covered and more, really all of the tools that people have suggested. So this is a class compiled resource cheat sheet from about the past 3 or 4 years. So there's all these apps with descriptions and costs and extra notes here. There's all these websites that you could click through and explore. And there's a lot. This is where you would find a link to my channel on YouTube. And so if you click on that, that's going to bring up all my videos from all my courses, including the live broadcast. And so, yes, you will have access to all of these live broadcasts after the course is over, as well as all of the live broadcasts I've ever done over the last 6 years. So yes, the answer to her question is yes, you'll have that, as well as these links to these soft chalk lessons. They're always going to be here and available for you. So those course content links will be there. Suggested readings are just books that folks find useful. I'll probably be adding to this. I'm headed to ISTE to a conference next week, and so I'll be adding to the resource cheat sheet. But then this last tab is my most favorite, and this is where you can add your name and contact information to help build your personal learning network, which we'll talk about more on Thursday when week 5 opens, about building your PLN. But this is a way to do it. So it allows you to connect with other educators who teach at your grade level or your subject area, and what they might want to connect about. So definitely think you should check out the resource cheat sheet. Let me check in on the back panel. Sydney was asking about adding that custom search that you create. Can you share that with your students? And yes, absolutely. So you'll have, and there's a video in the week 4 module that walks you through how to do it. But yeah, that's the whole purpose, is to create it so it's contained just for your class. And so yes, you can absolutely share that with your students. And cool. Good deal. All right, so let's move on. I feel like I've been talking the whole time, guys. I want to let you guys have a chance to talk. So we kind of discussed this beforehand. We have had a few folks who have Macs and have had issues with SoftChalk, the interactive pieces not working, and some different issues with Macs and different issues with different browsers. And so what tips do you guys, and Cindy actually asked this question, Cindy Nix from your team, Dawn, about should everything be in Google Chrome? What do you guys think about that?
I always use Chrome.
You always use Chrome?
Yeah, I do too. I have a Mac, and I love my Mac, but I rarely ever use Safari. I must always use Chrome, and it works for me. So, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good browser for sure. So, you know, when things go wrong for me, and they do all the time, so I'll be making changes to a SoftChalk, and I'll go refresh, and I'll look, and I'll see that something's not working. The first thing I always do in Chrome is I go incognito. So I don't know if all of you know about this. Let me actually go back and share. I should have left it open on there. So in Chrome, up here in the right-hand corner, you click on your little hamburger menu, and you click down, and you click on New Incognito Window. And so what this does is this basically, you're not yourself, and it's not your cache, it's not your history, it doesn't know your passwords, it doesn't have any blocks for JavaScript or for unsafe scripts or anything like that. So the first thing I always do to troubleshoot is I go incognito and I check to make sure, is this a browser issue or is this a me issue? And so that helps. When that doesn't work, then I immediately will always copy the URL that I'm having trouble with, and I'll go to, my go-to is to just check out Firefox first, and then the third one is Explorer. Again, just to check for compatibility things. 9 times out of 10, one of them will work. And so then I can say, okay, that's a browser issue. Either I want to, you know, take the trouble to really troubleshoot in Chrome, or I'm okay with just moving over to Explorer for this little bit, and then I'll move back to Chrome. So I think, I don't know, for me, that's sort of the, just be willing to, just like with today's meet, don't panic, just switch to another platform and pray it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And oftentimes it's just a little setting that's keeping you from being able to do what you want to do. So sometimes it's just playing around with the settings that will assist you and help.
Exactly, yeah. Clay has a really good quote. So what every IT person or tech person says, have you tried turning it on and off?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that works too, right? Turning it on and off just like magically gets rid of the whatever bugs are in there. So that's funny. All right, well, so a few of you related to kind of troubleshooting issues had some issues with SoftChalk this week, and I want to apologize for that. So basically, right when you go to experiment with SoftChalk decides to release a new version. And so there are some new features there. Dawn, you were saying at DBU, you guys have had some issues with it this week. And so basically what I want to say is if you had trouble with SoftChalk, don't panic. I did kind of try to let everyone know you could use Weebly as an alternative, and I'll just bring up Weebly. Weebly is more of a website creation tool, but it allows you to do all of the embed code stuff that I just showed you. I don't want to create a new account right now, but well, I guess I will. Why not? So you can create similar things that you could in a SoftChalk lesson. You just have to be a little bit more tenacious about it. Well, darn, it's not going to let me. But the point is, there's always alternative tools. And even before the broadcast, we were kind of brainstorming. And Marie, I think you had found a website that had 10 alternative tools to SoftChalk. And so, and I think I pulled that up here. Yeah. So there's some tools on here. I was telling Maria, I'm not completely sure of some of them. I haven't heard of some of them. Some of them I know for sure are not comparable to SoftChalk because they do different things. And some of them may be expensive, but there's others that I haven't even heard of, like Brainshark and Lessonly, that I'm totally going to check out after this. That could be just as good as SoftChalk. And so definitely, and all we did there was just Google alternatives to SoftChalk.
Exactly.
And so I think that's the point of all of this troubleshooting thing, is just to keep calm and just move on, and don't be afraid to shift gears and shift platforms, and explore something different. So hopefully none of you panic too much about the SoftChalk issues, but hopefully their upgrade is going to give you some additional functionality than what they have in the past. I was telling Dawn, because she was talking about the issue she was having at DBU, that I'm not planning on upgrading anytime soon, but I'm sticking with it till they work the bugs out. But anyway, so hopefully, Natalie, I know you and JC both had some issues with SoftChalk, and we're wondering about comparable tools. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Okay, guys, what else do we have here? Cindy Nix also had another question that she emailed me that I wanted to just address, and that was, does it cost extra in SoftChalk to embed video? And the answer is no, it doesn't. That's just a feature of it. So you saw how I do it in the embed code, and so it's not an additional cost, nor are these little activities additional costs for SoftChalk. So good question there, Cindy. Okay, so this question from Ginger, since I have this pulled up, so this is from Ginger Watson from Knowledge Seekers, and she wants to know, do I find the ADDIE or the SAMR model easier to use? So you guys covered this last week in week 3, and this may have answered your question, Ginger, but basically there are 2 different kind of models. So ADDIE is a design model. It's sort of a process model. So you start with step 1, which is analysis and all of these things. Step 2 is design, these things. So this kind of just visually shows you that ADDIE process and all the sub parts of that process. And so that's sort of a step-by-step when you're designing a lesson or an online module that you can work through. So that's one model. And then SAMR is actually a levels. It's more of kind of helping you to see, am I just substituting with technology, or am I transforming learning with technology? So it's more of a self-assessment tool for you to see how well am I integrating technology in my classroom. So it's not really an instructional design model. It's more of a self-assessment model for teachers and for schools to see how well technology is being integrated into the classroom. So hopefully that answers your question on that, Ginger.
Yeah, and that's nice clarification, Dr. Baker. Good.
Okay, good. All right.
You wanted to remind them about the iChampion conference.
Yes, thank you so much. And we are, oh my gosh, we are almost out of time, of course. And I'm sorry, team leads, I talked the entire time. I really apologize for that. I want to give you a chance to weigh in, but it seems like there was a lot of show and tell type of stuff going on this week. But iChampion is something that I hope you'll all join in and participate. It's in July. The dates are July 24th and 25th, I believe, are the actual conference dates, but there's a pre-academy, an Apple Teacher Academy on the 23rd. It's here at Tarleton. We've had it for the past 2 years. One of our alum, Bree Hodges, who is just fantastic. She is the director of digital learning here in Stephenville ISD. She and Dr. Howell here at Tarleton collaborate to bring together all of these educators and wonderful speakers. And there's just a lot of really good, rich knowledge shared at this conference. So anyways, I was able to get them, I twisted their arm and they've given us a 50% discount for all Tarleton OOP participants if you're interested. And so that code will be TSU Core. I'll email all this out, but basically it's half price for a 2-day conference. And then I think the Apple Teacher Academy is a little additional cost, but I'll see if I can get a discount code for that too. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyone who's interested in any of the things we've been learning about in this class, this is your chance to even take a deeper dive and connect with other educators. And I would love to have you there. It would be fantastic to see some of you. So I'll email that out. And thank you very much, Maria, for reminding me. Well, that ends our time for the week 4 broadcast. We have one more left next week, next Tuesday night. And I'll be joining in from Chicago at ISTE. So hopefully my hotel Wi-Fi works well. And I'll have lots of stuff to share with you from that conference. So anyways, I hope you have a good rest of your evening and take care. See you later.
Bye.